Today, we have a recording artist, an actor, and the owner of TenTen Entertainment. We welcome Mike Cannz. Please share your story with us and tell you what's inspired you to do what you do.
Well, first off, guys, I do appreciate you both bringing me onto the podcast. I'm honored and I'm grateful to be here. A little bit about Mike Cannz. So I've been working in the entertainment business for honestly my whole life, ever since I started out, man. It actually started out when I was a kid. My mom used to always tell me, when we were hanging out with the family, there was always just something about me that always just wanted to entertain people. She said you would always go on the steps. You would always entertain your family. You would put on little skits and stuff like that. And music started to become something that I noticed. But when I was young, I actually had a loss of hearing. I actually couldn't hear through both my ears. So I had to have surgery as a kid, and they had to put tubes inside so that I can amplify my hearing. And as that kind of evolved, my hearing got better, which again has now turned out to be a very important tool for myself that I need to be able to use to create the music that I'm creating. And actually, it's kind of an interesting story because, when I was young, you're too young, you don't really know what's going on. But then as I got older and I heard the story, I was like, I got to add this into everything I got going on. And that's where it's brought me to where I am today, becoming that artist that I am here from Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, representing the North. And I've been an actor for film and television. I've been building up my whole brand in that terms of sense, in terms of all across social media platforms. And now I have my own management team that I'm working with, MT Music Group. And again, we're just building up the brand, building up the business so that essentially, man, we could take things to the next level and, push more and just inspire the world.
Wow, that's sweet. And that's incredible to hear. You pushed through that adversity as you went through when you were younger, and you've transformed into a strength, right? So now I'm sure that gives you that extra push to do what you need to do, but especially because you feel called to do this. So it's really inspiring. We're all so grateful to have you here. And we just want to know what did inspire you to get here, and who were your idols when starting this whole process?
For me, man, it started out pretty young. I had two older brothers that are 5 and 8 years older than me. So when you're growing up as a young kid in elementary school and you have two older brothers that are bumping Eminem, 50 Cent, Tupac, Biggie, you really didn't have a choice to not hear it. Right. And my brothers used to always play that kind of music around me. And I fell in love with hip hop. I fell in love with rap, and I fell in love with the lyricism in terms of how these rappers can put, words together, the poetry. And it was just so creative. And I found it very fascinating. And that's where it started for me, was Eminem. Definitely the way his wordplay was very creative, the way his flows and his sound.
Oh yeah.
And from that, music kind of changed a little bit when Drake and all these new artists started to come in, and the sound of hip hop changed. So my inspiration came from taking the importance of lyrics and what Eminem did with his wordplay and impacting people in that way, but also bringing the sound that Drake did with the new sound. And I want to mesh those two together. And that's where my inspiration for music started to come. Of course, I find inspiration in anything, man, through life experiences, through other people, through other artists. Inspiration could be found anywhere, but these are the two artists that I really looked up to. And I was like, obviously I'm not here to copy them, but I want to find points that they did that were very successful, inspire people, and I wanted to bring that to the world.
That's incredible, truly. So thus far, what would you say some of your main challenges have been, and how have you overcome those?
Honestly, man, I'd say my biggest challenges are myself. My insecurities, things that go through inside, man, to be quite honest with you. Anything external, if that controls me, that's not going to really, bring any value to what I'm trying to do. My own thing that's been holding me back is myself, not pushing myself to the limit, not being disciplined, not motivating myself. Insecurities that I've been battling over the last, 5 to 8 years. And again, I'm always going to keep battling. I feel like that's what's been really holding me back. And that's what I've been working on a lot, working on the mindset, working on, my body, working on these fears, doubts, insecurities, past pain, so that I can now not let that define me, but then I can allow that to be brought into my music to inspire and help other people that are in need.
Oh, okay. I see. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I like that. I just think you're trying to channel that, whatever it is, an insecurity or something like that, you're trying to channel it into your work, into your art, and making it, a positive.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, truly. It's incredible. And what advice would you give to up-and-coming artists, especially, we're here in Mississauga as well, around the GTA area. You know that there's a huge, huge scene for music, especially a huge scene for hip-hop. So what would you say can give them an extra edge when it comes to having their brand come out and to expose themselves in the most effective way?
Never think you can't do it on your own. I think for the longest time, I always thought like in terms of like the record label aspect, every artist I believe is like, I need a label, I need a record label, I need this. Yes, of course, those things are great, but you can always start building on your own. Build a team around you. Be independent for as long as you can, because a record label is going to come in, and if you're a new and up and coming artist, they're going to take a lot more from you. Not only from the business aspect and the money, but even just from yourself as your life. Because again, when a label owns you, they own you and you're the product. So if they need you to fly out here to do a show, but you want to hang out with your family, man, you don't really have that control and that power. So that's why as an up and coming artist, you want to build up your brand so that, because you're a business, you're an entrepreneur. So you got to have leverage. And when you can build up your own leverage, and the longer you can wait until that moment of signing, Russ did it. He did it himself. He built up his leverage so that he can go negotiate with these labels or big agencies or whatever the case may be, so that he has leverage to say, well, I'm not going to give all of it to you. You guys don't have control, but I love to partner with you guys, and, in terms of bringing it to the next level. So to any new and up and coming artist, build from the ground up. Start. If you guys want to reach out to me, I'm always about giving advice to artists and helping them build up their brand, help them build up their marketing, help them build up their music, and just give that advice so these artists can realize, like, there's the internet now. You got social media. There's so many tools and resources that they can go find. You just got to network. And again, when you start building that up, man, you build up a business, and then you have leverage to negotiate.
I see.
Do you recommend then you recommend to stay by yourself pretty much without like a label for as long as possible, or like would you not even recommend to even join a label?
Again, it's a very, there's two answers to that. Like I'm not going to sit here and say don't sign to a label.
Mm-hmm.
It just has to come down to time, because every artist is going to get a different deal, right? So my manager always said to me, he's like, I want to keep you as long as you can independent, because the longer we're independent, the less you have to deal with these label heads and people interfering with what you're actually trying to build. Are they trying to tell the message that I'm trying to tell? Like, are they fitting into that? Or are they trying to tell me to go do what they want me to do and be an image of what they want me to say? Because as an artist, bro, you're a human being, right? So if you have somebody else controlling you, that's why I was saying everything external. If you allow things to control you, you're not going to actually fulfill your purpose and what you're trying to do and get your message across. So I'm not going to say never sign. It just comes down to the right deal and the right time. And you got to know from yourself, again, by, networking, connecting with other artists, doing research. The internet's out there, man. There's so many videos. There's so many people that literally talk about this on their platforms that are giving free information to these artists, that these artists can just go take that extra step and just go learn it, rather than they always want to say, oh, somebody do it for me. Exactly. And I can say in the past, I was always like, I need a label. That's the only way I'm going to make it. But then, when my manager and I sat down, we had that conversation. I was like, you're right. Like, I can do it on my own. It's because I'm blocking myself. And that's why I'm saying those insecurities. I'm blocking myself from believing in myself that I can do it. Or again, bring myself to a point where it's not, I'm chasing the labels. The labels are chasing you, right?
Absolutely. So on that note, you're talking about speaking with your manager. What, from your experience, would you say is kind of the common rhetoric between an artist and a manager? And what do you think are the best practices to go about reaching a manager if you don't have people calling you?
I personally think, like you're basically saying, like, what should be the connection between a manager and an artist, right?
Yes, and how you converse, and what do you think are the best practices necessary to establishing a connection and relationship?
Building a relationship, 100%, building that connection. What's their morals? What are their values in life? Like, what they believe in and how they move in life, does it align with you, right? Just because, like, I've had so many managers and so many people want to do a deal with me or do something with me, but there just wasn't something lining up. And it didn't matter that they had all these connections and resources to this guy, this guy, this guy. Anybody can go get those. There's so many other people out there in those positions that have that network. So when it comes to a manager and a management and your team, you really got to be careful on who you select. That's even before, stay on your own then. Like, I was years, bro. Like, Anthony, we've known each other for years. Yeah. When we first met, I was literally on my own. I had nobody around me. I had people that I was collaborating with, but I was really doing it on my own. So now that when I found my management, I was like, there's something about these guys. They have a great energy. Their vision lines with my vision. They're supporting me. They're not trying to control me. They want me to be me, and they want me to be the best that I can, and they're going to push me. So you want a great team that surrounds you, very positive, again, has the right morals, has the right values, has their vision going this way. And if you're going this way, you guys are not going to, how it's not about the short term, it's about the long term in business. So that's why you guys want to make sure that you guys are unison and connected, because that's what's really going to take you to the next step. And, you know, connecting with them. Yeah, of course, it's a business relationship, but then, you know, building a friendship, building that trust, building that, you know, that loyalty between them is very important, because those are building blocks that are going to build you to be a solid team, to know that, you know, when you guys start coming into the industry and you got all these people, you got all these fans all in it, you need the right team around you that are going to keep your headspace in the right space, because if not, they may take advantage of you. They may run away. They may not care about your well-being. And we can see there's so many big names out there that, you know, they look the most famous artists. They're probably making so much money, but what's going on in their mental space? Did they have the right people around them? And that's why that's just as important than having the biggest song on Spotify.
Of course.
I want to ask you, like, if someone wanted to get a manager, say they don't have one right now, and they're an up-and-coming artist, how would you go about that? How would you go and get a manager? Do you reach out to them? Do they reach out to you?
Honestly, again, that can go both ways. I don't know if people believe in the law of attraction, because if enough up to be a certain something, managers are constantly on the platform looking for new artists. So if you just put yourself in that position to be that artist that a manager says, yo, we want to work with that guy and help him bring him to the next step, they're going to reach out to you, right? But at the same time, yes, you can go online. There's managers all over Instagram. You just got to take the extra initiative and take that few minutes, few hours, few days, and just go look, have a couple meetings with them, connect with them, see what they can do, what's their value, what's their experience in the industry, what have they done, who do they know, right? And then while you start to think about, you know, okay, does this manager fit with me? Does this manager fit with me? Or does this manager fit with me? You'll start to know. It's like buying a car. It's like buying a house. It's like picking a girlfriend. You know, you don't just settle or go with the first thing that you see. Now, don't get me wrong. The first one can be great.
Of course.
But it really comes down to, you know, is the connection right? And again, if you're with your body and you know what's right for you, you're always going to make the right decisions. Now, for me, again, I was, like I said, Anthony, I've known you for so long. Years, I'm not even having a manager or management. You know, and I only got him over the last 3 years. So, and this was the first manager that I came across, besides all these other people in the industry saying, yo, I could do this for you. I can help you here. But nothing stayed consistent and nobody actually pulled through but these guys. And I remember going through an artist of mine who connected me to them because he was working with them at the time. I showed him a track and then he played that track for them. And then they were like, yo, we like this. He told him, he reached out to me. I had a meeting with one of the managers. We had a phone call. Then we went out to dinner. We had a bigger meeting the guys face to face, asked me questions. And from there, man, it's been 3 years of constantly building this relationship. And honestly, I don't see it going any other way. I only see it going up, and we're going to keep getting bigger, man.
Absolutely. It shows there's been so much growth so far. And like you said, we've known each other for a while and I've seen how much growth you've had and we wish you continued success always. So it's really great to see. So it's such a great testament to, you know, showing what the power of oneself, you know, what you really can do and create on your own behalf. And I really like how you touched upon, you know, doing things for the right reasons and not just jumping out at an opportunity just because it is there. It really ensuring that it does align with your values and what you want to do and that everything is moving forward accordingly, because you could get staggered, you know, on that approach, and then you might find people who have ulterior motives, right? So I definitely agree there. Definitely got to be cautious with any endeavor that you pursue when interacting with other people.
Yeah, and to add on to that, like, don't get me wrong, people are scared to take risks. People are scared to take an opportunity because they're like, oh, is this going to be the one? Or if they do it and then they're like, oh, this didn't work out for me, I quit, or whatever the case is. Don't look at a failure or those moments that didn't take your career to the next level as a fail. Don't take that as a step back. That's a learning experience to say, okay, what did I learn from here? What can I take from this? Okay, yes, it wasn't the opportunity. Because I don't know, as an artist, bro, I get excited whenever there's like somebody that reaches out to me and says, hey, this or hey, that. I get excited, but then I'm like, yo, I've learned from my past, don't go fully in. So I sit there and I'm like, okay, let me do the due diligence. Let me take those precautions and steps just to like move forward on the opportunity. But as you start to get closer and closer, you start to notice those flags. You start to notice, is this person legit? Are they actually real? Are they going to offer what they've said? So in those moments, man, I feel like artists don't want to take the risk. Again, they should, because the fact that they already say they want to be an artist is a huge risk, because everybody knows this industry is so hard to maintain and have longevity. And so they might as well take the risk and take the leap of faith. Like my favorite superhero says, Spider-Man, take the leap of faith, because until you take that leap of faith, he wasn't going to be Spider-Man. So until I take that leap of faith and fall face flat on the floor and get back up stronger, that's more important to me than someone who fell face flat and didn't even get back up, or somebody who didn't even take the jump. Exactly. But people are scared to take the jump because they don't want to look like they're weak. They don't want to look like they're starting out. Everybody wants to look like they're number one already. Now, that's great. Push yourself. But just be realistic at the same time and realize that the ones that actually fail and get back up are actually the ones that are winning, because they're learning from their experiences.
Of course. And especially even on that note, I'm a firm believer that you will resonate with people as you're meant to, especially when you're doing things with good means. You have those good intentions. You're really doing it to elevate yourself and the people around you because you want to share your craft, your art, and really provide good value to people. So I think that's very important as you're moving forward with whatever it is that you're doing, and especially in your case, artist, actor, and an owner of a business. So it's really great to see how you're able to channel that into these various areas. And it, again, goes to show how far you come and how far you're going to go. And it's very exciting to see. And I was wondering if you had any ideas for how you think the record labels as of today should adjust, if need be, because of the recent prevalence of independent artists and the exposure to social media.
Before you go on with that, add this, like even to add to with like Kanye going, saying like he wanted to go by himself and without the label and everything he kind of ranted on social media, even just to add on to that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to hear what you have to say about that.
So now when it comes to labels and stuff like that, again, it comes down to the right deal. Right? Like I said, it's not that labels are bad. It's just artists sign too quick. So it's actually not the label's fault. I feel it's more the artist not being educated enough to understand when's the right time, what's the right deal, what they should look for. And that's why I feel a lot of artists are getting, maybe screwed over. They get shelled, or they just come into a label and they can say, oh, I'm signed to Universal, or I'm signed to Sony. But it's like, what's going on? Because, like they're not really moving. Now, again, my managers always told me how a lot of labels, they're not really doing artist development. They're not actually taking that time and that initiative to work with the artists to build them up. It costs a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy. If you look at all the superstars, bro, they're out right now. They're not one-hit wonders. They're artists that were built up. They're being consistent. Now, that's why artist development is very important. That's self-development, bro. That's like being a human. You improve yourself. You improve your artistry. You're going to improve everything else around you, right? So, again, with labels, I feel like they're just kind of, finding who's popping online, right? Or who's already started the hype for them. So the question is, are they grabbing an artist because he went viral, or are they grabbing an artist that's building up and they want to bring him to the next level? So in terms of all that, I feel that's why you see all these big artists opening up their own labels, or you saw these big artists saying, stay independent, right? It's not that they're saying stay independent, stay away from labels. They're just saying, you guys are signing too soon, and then you're locked into a 5-year deal.
Okay.
You're stuck. You're not going to go anywhere. How can you release music? How can you go tour? How can you make money if a label's got you on a 5-year deal and they're in control and they're in power and you can't go anywhere? That's why people hear about the 180 deals. And a label's going to take 180, a percentage of everything you do, rather than if you came in and you had leverage and you built up your brand, you built up your music. It's like, well, okay, he's got a brand, so we don't need it. Okay, he's got his music. Okay, we don't need it. Okay, he's got studio and a team. We don't need that. He just needs maybe distribution. He just needs to push it. He needs funds. Okay, he needs resources. We have that. That's why you can then negotiate maybe a distribution deal, a publishing deal. Maybe they just take a percentage of your streams. Maybe they take a percentage of your business, and you want to make sure you have those rights. And that's the thing, is a lot of artists, again, the big labels at the top are knowing that those artists that have been signed for all these years are turning around and trying to, educate the new artists by saying, look, stay independent, do your thing. Now coming to Kanye, I think with Kanye now, I think he's built up enough of himself, and he's built up a brand over years that realistically he doesn't need it anymore, right? Again, Kanye is he's a special person. He's definitely made an impact in this world, man. He's done great. Even with Drake now, right? Drake is no longer with the label anymore with Cash Money. His 10-year contract came up. Like, that's why it's good for those artists now, is because now they can turn around and build up their own thing. Like Drake's building up OVO and stuff like that, and Kanye's doing his Yeezys and stuff like that. I just feel, again, I think artists need to support artists. And again, like you say, like we need to realize what's actually going to benefit us and just educate ourselves, because a lot of artists just focus on the music and not realize that business is just as important. And because if you don't know the business, labels, managers, other people can, fog up your mind and, take you down the wrong path.
I see, absolutely. And so, talking a lot about this personal growth, I know that yourself as well as myself, we saw someone, a life coach, who we both had a meeting with, of course, at different times. And I was just curious. I'd like to give an anecdote myself, but before that, I'd like to hear how you think that maybe that has altered or shifted the trajectory of your career since you had that meeting.
Well, being an artist is being human.
Yep.
So to me, no matter what, you need to know what's going on in here. You need to be focused. The more you can control your emotions, the more you can control your thoughts, the more you're in control of your body and yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
not letting the external sources pull you, the better your business, the better relationships, the better your music, the better everything, man. It just kind of goes all around. And again, artist development, life coaching, working on yourself, essentially, I think it was a great experience for me, and it definitely benefited. And it's still something that I always constantly do. Even with my friends, man, now our conversations have turned out to just be like life coaching conversations.
Oh, yeah.
With people passing experiences so that I can help them, right? Someone's going to help me, I'm going to help them, right? And that's the beauty, is you give when you receive, right? So great experience. It definitely got me on the right track. I always believe everybody already knows what's going on in their head and what they need to do. It's just sometimes you get lost and emotions can overpower that, and then you don't know. So going to the life coach, it definitely got my focus on the right path. And everything she was saying was just validation, reaffirming things that were already going through my mind, but it was the way she delivered it, connected with me on it, and the words she used that just triggered certain things. And that's why it's all about psychology. When you understand how you operate, it's easier to operate with other people. And then it's so much easier to make hits and put out the right message, because you already know what that impact is going to do to somebody if you just deliver it in the right way.
Exactly. And even just add on to that, from my experience, I can attest to that as well, because for myself, I felt that it gave me so much clarity, and it did pretty much reiterate what I thought may have already been going on, but she really dug down to the root and told me in such a direct way, where I was able to then take that information, not kind of run away from it, but pretty much say, okay, this is what's going on. This is what, the headspace that I'm in. This is what I'm thinking about. And she really was able to clarify for me what everything was derived from, like what my intentions were, like why it was that I was doing anything at the end of the day, and just making sure that wasn't being swayed by external sources or any externality for that matter. So it really gave me, a good path to say, you're doing good, you're doing what you need to do. Just make sure you don't get fogged up along the way, and or lose sight or lose focus of who you really are and what it is that you truly intend and want to focus on.
Because I feel like people only cover the surface level. And that's why going to the root on everything is the most important, because, the reason why we are who we are today, regardless if you're a young adult, teenager, 30, 50, whatever, it comes from your childhood when you were raised from your parents.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why people need to understand it's the root. And that's why I liked how you said it. It is the root. You got to always dig deep. There's always a deeper reasoning to everything that you start to open up. And somebody once told me that is, when you have a question for yourself and you're thinking about something, ask yourself why. And then after you give yourself an answer, ask yourself why again to that answer. And you'll start to notice, you start to kind of go down and start to go deep to that root and say, oh, that's why I'm like that. It takes me back to my childhood. And then once you get to that root, bro, you can cut the root, whatever the case is, you fix it. That piece of your life gets fixed, bro. And then you move on to the next one. And that's why people got to just enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, enjoy life, because there's a balance of good and there's going to be a balance of bad. You're not going to just have all great and all gravy. And again, obviously you don't want a life of just always pain and stuff like that. But again, if you find the balance and you know how to maneuver through it, you're going to get through it and you're going to stay strong.
Absolutely. That's great to hear, man. Thank you so much for that insight. And so let's talk about Samurai. Big song, big video just came out. There it is.
Let's go.
Look at that. Please talk about that in the entirety of that process, if you may.
So, yeah, man, Samurai dropped on my birthday on August 28th, just recently. And we've been pushing it. It's been doing great, man. It's over 55K streams, and it's going to constantly keep growing. And we just dropped a music video for it. I did a cartoon animated, man. I really wanted to take people on a different experience. I really wanted to, give a different visual. Obviously, most music videos you see out there, it's obviously in person. And again, obviously, I would love to do that. But I wanted to go a different route. And I wanted to showcase that vision through an animation. And the whole point of the song, Samurai, is about what it takes to be a samurai, that focus, that discipline, being strong, being, whatever that case is that somebody believes of being a samurai it is. And that's me overcoming my doubts. That's me overcoming those fears, heartbreak, whatever it was. I was slicing through it like a samurai to become who I am today. And I wanted to motivate people, inspire people, be confident in yourself that you can break through and have that breakthrough, just like Tony Robbins always says, and have those breakthroughs so that you can then inspire other people, help other people that, maybe you're going through a tough time. And I'm hoping that that music just motivates them, pumps them up, right? And then with the music video, it's about taking that audio experience and putting it into a visual experience. And then that's why I had the whole visual experience of me going through a maze, through the mirrors. And as I'm going through the mirrors, you see that I'm interacting with my ghosts and those fears from the past: fear, doubt, love, broke, insecurities, all these type of things as I'm going through the maze, because I feel like life is a maze. People are trying to go through, trying to get through, but they always get a block. When you're in a maze, man, and you think you found the exit, but then you're like, oh no, that's a wall. So it's about just being patient, going through it. Yeah, you'll have some battles, but as long as you get through them and you move on to the next step, you're always going to be progressing. You're always going to get better. And that's it. People want to go from here to here rather than just realizing, it's okay to go a step at a time, to go slowly. As long as you're moving in the right direction and you're going up, I don't see a problem with that. And I want to now take, again, like that audio experience and bring it to that visual to show that at the end of the video, I'm now my new self. I broke through. I'm now the new Mike that I am. But again, doesn't mean I'm still not working on things. I'm always working on things, man. Of course, yeah. Because it's a life. And, who knows, tomorrow or in 1 week, there could be another challenge that hits me, another hurdle that hits me. And it's just about how am I going to get through that rather than that blocking me. Exactly,
because we're constantly evolving. So that's part of the entirety of that process. So better to embrace it than to shy away and make rational calls along the way.
Mm-hmm. I have a question. In terms of like writing the song, like how does that work? So like how long does it take to write a song? What goes through your mind? Like do you do this all day? Do you put like maybe some time away in the day? I'd like to just know a little bit about that.
Oh yeah.
Great question. I think everybody's process as an artist is going to be different. I think every approach I have to a song is going to be different, because I've had writer block moments where, I can go a couple weeks, few days, a month at a point where it's just like nothing's coming, and now again, it does take a lot for an artist to be disciplined on themselves and put themselves in the studio. Stare at a blank page for 30 minutes is better than not staring and not even doing anything and you're working on something else. Putting you in that space and maybe hoping something comes out of it. When it came to this song, it was me just coming into the studio. I felt a vibe. We all know what it's like to feel a vibe, to feel that wave, and something just clicked with me. There was just a thought. There was an idea. I felt something. So I went into the studio and I just started cycling through beats. And usually what happens is as I'm cycling through all these different beats, there's always going to be that one that just goes, that fits the expression or the feeling that I've been looking for. And I kind of just go in with an open mind. I don't really try to say what I'm going to say or what all that case may be. I kind of let it naturally flow out of me. I want it to be so natural that this is what I can just do. And it's almost like you freestyle it a bit. And then you'll notice as you start freestyling it, or you start mumbling a flow, or you start thinking of ideas, the flow happens. Now the question is, do people lose that flow? And that's the part. You don't want to lose it, because once you catch on that wave, you don't want to lose it, because it just kind of trickles to the next one, right? It's always like something that's going to come after that. And I was in that space. I started creating that song. And then by the end of the session, I had a song. Now, again, how long does it take? Man, I can write a song in 30 minutes. I can write a song in 2 hours. It just depends on that moment. And every song I create is going to be a different time frame and a different experience and a different vibe. But with this one came out in under an hour. And then I took that song to the studio with my team, and then we brought it to life, because music's all about collaboration. I value my team's opinion, and I just wanted to see what they can add on, because if they're going to add a little here or a little there and it's going to make the song better, I'd be dumb not to listen, right? Yeah. And especially listen to people that I know the industry and know music very well and have been doing it a lot longer than I have. I want to listen to what they have to say. So, when we build that song, we built the beat, we built the song, we built the flows, and then we just kind of went in and recorded it. And then, you go through the whole mixing process, you go through the mastering process. And then there's always that time back and forth saying, okay, let's change this, change that, change this, change that, until eventually you just sit there and you hear that last mix and you play it and you're like, it's done.
Wow.
You kind of know, right? It's just a feeling. You're like, okay, it's done. It's ready to go. And then from there, you start thinking, okay, how are we going to brand this? How are we going to market this? How are we going to put it out? What's the budget that we have? When's the release date? And I found that my birthday was coming up and I wanted to put it out in August. And I was like, well, my birthday's on a Friday and Fridays are good days to release music. So I was like, it's going to be a birthday release. And then after that, in the last quarter, I'm going to put out a music video, which I did. And now, man, it's just now that's out. I'm letting it go to the world. See what it does, man, because you never know, man. People blow up a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later. But I put it out there in the world. I know it's there. And now it's time to focus on what's next.
Of
That's
course.
awesome.
And how about for the music video itself? What was that process like?
So again, with this video actually this was a big challenge for me actually, and I felt that I took it on very well. So we were actually supposed to shoot like a legit music video, but obviously with COVID, things got restricted, so I had to make a change. And I've been running on a very short period of time. I only had a few weeks, and I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna like I said, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, okay, it's over. I'm not doing it. I was like, okay, what can I do to make this better? How can I innovate? So me and my manager were talking, came up with an idea of saying, yo, let's do a cartoon, let's do an animation. I was like, okay. So I started going on social media, keep messaging people, finding people. Some were legit, some weren't. Some matched with what I can do, some didn't. And then eventually after, again, you just look around, I came across a gentleman that fit within my budget. He was able to achieve what I was looking for. I looked at some of his other work and I'm like, okay, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And then what you do is then you get on that phone call with him, paint him the picture. Share him your video treatment, which is essentially a piece of paper that tells you what you're looking for, what's the move, what's the breakdown, what do you want to see, what's the visual. Express that to him. Because if an artist says, oh, go make me one, he's creating everything for you. But when an artist can come in with a vision so clear, which I did, and I said, yo, dude, I'm looking for this, it's so much easier for him just to take and bring his skills to the table and add his twist and bring that to life. And it was just a back and forth period of him sending me little samples. Yo, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? I like it. Keep going. And then he keeps building. Even the first process started with my face. He has to get the face on point. So he did an animation of my face. It was hilarious. And, it was just kind of being like, whoa, I've never seen myself in an animated form. But then again, we finally found the face. We're like, okay, that's it. And then he starts building the music video. And again, it's a slow and long process, but it's worth it, man. That's why people just enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, because success is not at the end when the video comes out. Success is when you're actually building it and going back and forth, because once it's done, bro, it's done. Like, I'm not saying it's over, like my career's over, but that project is no longer, you don't do something right twice.
Yeah.
You did it. It's over. So it's like, enjoy it while it's there, because yes, the next exciting part is putting it out and just seeing what it does, but the creation of itself. And again, that's where artists we love. That's where we thrive. So
you do it for at the end of the day is to do it.
To create, literally.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, if you'd like to touch upon and talk about your work as an actor.
Oh, of course, man. That's actually where it all started, to be quite honest.
I like it.
I was an actor before I realized I wanted to get into music. And now again, being an artist, being a creative, I overlap the acting with the music, because music helps me generate emotions and brings me, those feelings as an actor would need. But then being a musician and performing in music videos and expressing, maybe not with my face, but through my voice, acting really helped me to learn how to express. So I feel like they went hand in hand, and I still think they do, because if I ever do a video or doing this, how could I be well if I was always hiding behind a microphone like right here?
Yeah.
You're comfortable in front of a camera. You can carry yourself very well. You can speak well,
right?
Yeah. So it took me back to when I was in elementary school. I loved drama. It was the only course that I ever liked. There was no other course that you could see me actually focusing on. Math, science, I was like, okay, whatever. But when it came to drama, I was serious.
There we go.
And that's when I won the drama award in elementary school.
Nice.
I know it's not a Grammy or an Oscar yet, but I was proud of that. And then I went to high school. The vision, the goal, still the same. Everybody said, everyone's like, hey, what do you want to be? Oh, fireman, this. And I'm like, Mike, what do you want to be? Still an actor, still an artist. And I stuck to that. And it was interesting in high school. When you get to high school, obviously you guys can relate, it's a different world. So everyone came in a little bit different. And for the first 3 years, I did not get involved in the drama club, but I was in all my drama courses. I thrived at the top of my class. I was always getting good percentages. And it took to my 4th year in grade 12. And now obviously I'm the oldest kids in the school. So maybe that helped me a little bit, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to sit around and wait anymore. I'm like, I'm going to do the drama club. I'm going to audition for it. And I got in. Greatest experience of my life, man. So that's what I'm trying to say. I was holding myself back. Nobody else was, but we're scared of other people's judgment or what people are going to think. I just didn't care about that. I'm like, I'm going to do what I love and I'm going to do it. I got on that stage, bro. all the teachers, all the kids, bro. I was Dora the Explorer for one of these plays. Everybody knew me as Dora, bro.
Nice.
They'll be like, Dora. I'd be walking around just in life, man. And people, because of high school, everyone knows each other and recognizes each other. Like, oh my God, it's Dora, it's Dora. So I was known, man. I felt like I was a little famous in my high school for a period of time there. And again, I won the drama award when it came to the end. And I felt excited, man. And said, okay, I'm on the right path. Then I went to college. I went to Sheridan first for 1 year for performing arts, just to kind of give me a little tease. Then I went to Seneca College at York University here in Toronto for 2 years, focusing now on acting for film and television. And then that kind of helped me to start building up my acting in that world a lot more, which while I was doing that throughout all these years, in the background on my own, I was freestyling. I was building up the music. So it was in the background, but acting was more in the foreground. School ended. Of course, I was like, yo, can you imagine tomorrow we become the biggest thing? And here I am 4 or 5 years later, I'm realizing, yo, there's a process. So I got to realize that. But came out of school, continued on the music, continued on the acting. And with acting, I was able to book a few TV show roles on a couple TV shows. And, you know, that kind of started me up. I got a commercial for Bell Media, CFL, for TSN. And then my biggest one yet, it's not out yet, but been talking to the producers. You know, they're just in the process of, you know, finding a way to distribute it and get it out. Excuse me. Obviously, because of COVID, film festivals have kind of changed, so we got to find new ways to put things out. And I was the lead male in a featured film that I shot in Montreal, Canada. I was there for a month, man. It was an amazing experience.
Wow.
And I just can't wait to see what the movie's like when it comes out, because when I went into that role, man, I don't think I was me. And what I mean like that is, like, I got in that space. It's called method acting, where you just you let go of who you are. And you allow the character of who that person is into you. And I just remember being on set, man, when lights were rolling, when everything was going, you didn't call me Mike, you called me Mark. And if my character was pissed in a scene, I wouldn't turn to you and start talking to you normally, unless we were on break or it was lunchtime. I would talk to you like the guy, like I would grill you on set like Mark, not Mike. And I remember one time, it was my favorite moment, and you feel so good, man, was one of the directors on set said, hey guys, do we mind keeping it down? Mike's in character, because they know, like, you don't want a character or an actor to come out of that space, because it's that zone. Like I said, dude, once you get out, you may lose that. So you want to hold it and own it, man. And I just let myself go in that moment. And it was a great experience, because not only did I get to become what I wanted as an actor, but it also put me on my own, man. I was able to benefit things as a person myself, you know, living somewhere on my own for a month. I was, you know, taking care of things, but also still acting. So it was an experience, and I took a lot from it. And for acting, man, it's not over. It's never over. Music is more my focus now, because I feel like that's what's going to get me in the door. Because as an artist, bro, once you get in with one, the other ones just follow, right? Like, they're going to call you, right? Look at all the big artists out there that are popping up in movies. The fact that I already have that experience on my shoulders is just a matter of time, where I probably will put on my own productions and put myself as a star and, you know, start putting out movies as well.
I want to ask you for like the process of method acting and doing that, how does that feel, like the day to day? What's the process of that?
So for me, my process was I would go into another room before we shoot, and I would just kind of repeat thoughts in my head. We call them drone notes, right? If you repeat something enough, your thoughts will create an emotion, and that emotion will create that feeling and that experience. Just how, you know, when people could sit there and say, I'm ugly, I'm ugly, I'm ugly. No wonder you're looking in the mirror and you're feeling ugly, because you're feeding that to yourself. So that's a drone note. You just repeat something. So I would go in another room, nobody around, close my eyes, and just kind of say, let Mike go, let Mike go. Allow Mark in, and just start changing how I spoke, changing how I stood. And I kind of started acting a little differently, and I would just feel this energy of something else just kind of come over with me, and I would just be in the dark. And then once I felt that there was, you know, I'm like, okay, I feel the transformation, then I would go back and onto set, sit into my chair, because for the whole movie, bro, literally, other than the beginning and the end, I was tied up in a chair the whole movie. So I'm not moving. I was literally tied up in a chair. And that is actually a hard challenge for an actor, especially one of my biggest things is because an actor uses their full body. I had to act from just like, you know, while using my body. But again, wasn't allowed movement. So again, I go back, sit down in the chair, get into that zone, and just deliver what I can. And I had to do that every single day and in between, because like I said, when we took our lunch break, we took our dinner break, I will let myself go because like we're on break for like an hour. I could just be myself and enjoy it. But I would always say, hey guys, give me a 10-minute warning when we're about to start shooting. I want to get back in my character because again, to do this every day for 3 to 4 weeks, I know people could sit here and say it's easy, but why are people so hard to regulate their own energy? So that's why it's hard to do it. So imagining trying to do it yourself. So every single day was a challenge. Some days, again, I didn't feel it as much, but you just got to stay consistent, believe, breathe, and just say, yo, I'm going to give the best I can.
Lord. And what would you say, sorry, my apologies.
No.
What would you say were some of the, what was the flexibility what would you say that you had being an actor for a particular film, like the one that you just did? How much would you be able to induce your ideas into that character, or how much was it regulated by the cast and the rest of the production?
So usually when it comes to that, of course, that's why they have auditions. They want to know that Mark is you, essentially. Like obviously they give you different words, they give you a different life, but Mark is me. That's why you get casted for that. So they don't really step in. They'll direct you, they'll guide you what they want to see, because again, the writers and the directors and the producers have a vision. They just believe that what I brought to the table matched that vision. So that's why we say morals and visions have to line up, because if you pick the wrong actor, things are not going to be on the right page. So it was already that I was already Mark before they actually casted me, and they allow you, man. That's the job of an actor, right? Their job is not to tell you what emotions to feel and stuff like that and how to perform it. They want you to bring that to the table. That's the job of an actor. So again, when we're on set, they'll be like, hey, Mike, do a little this, bring a little that, yell more, cry, cry in the scene, or whatever the case may be. So you follow what they have, but then you kind of just forget about that and you kind of bring yours to the table, because you don't want it to sound robotic. You're following a script and you're just going point to point. Like, you want it to be natural to the point where it's just like you're in that moment. This is real and it's happening.
Absolutely.
That's interesting. I wanted to know about, so it was a whole month right of filming. And so like every single day, are you filming, and are you like filming from the morning to the night? What are like the schedules? It seems kind of daunting. Like a whole month, you have to kind of reserve your whole life into like this one space.
So yeah, man, it was every single day of shooting. I think Sundays were the only days that we were off. So it was basically 6 days a week. I was on set at 5 p.m. Eastern time, and I would get off at like 5 a.m. So I actually was doing night shoots the whole way through. So there was no day shooting. So I literally would wake up, rehearse my lines throughout the afternoon that I got, have some food, maybe do a workout, practice my stuff, get into space. I got to pick up 5 p.m. They take you to set. You're there till the morning, drive you home, come back the next day, keep doing it. So not only was it a challenge, because again, obviously, 3 weeks, 4 weeks on, night mode, going from I sleep at night and I'm up during the day, and transitioning that was definitely a challenge too, because your body has to adapt as well. And again, I need my body to do my job. So, why, man, I'm a night owl. I'm not going to lie. So it was a lot easier for me. I love the experience. Long hours, bro. Like when someone says, oh yeah, we're only on set for 8 hours, don't believe them. It's always longer, straight up.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So yes, also tell us about your brand, please, if you'd like.
Well, first off, I think you need to get a new sweater, bro. First
I
off.
know. This is old merch.
That's the original, bro, where it all started. Like, what was it, like 5-8 years ago, give or take, man? That was the first one.
It is.
And now, so that's honestly, bro, that's actually better, because in a sense, nobody will ever see that or get that piece. Right?
Really?
No, that will not be. Anybody who got
Vintage piece.
Exactly.
They get it. That's exclusive, bro. So in 10 years, bro, that'll probably be worth some money. I don't lie on that.
Vintage piece.
But this is the new one. We released it when Samurai came out, obviously, because that's why we put the Samurai logo on the back, because I want to start connecting Mike Cannz, the name, to the brand of TenTen. So we started this, again, it came out, I think it was September, October. We just released it. It's very recent. And we just kind of went back and forth on a couple designs, building up the store, building up the website, connecting to it, figuring out prices, figuring out the designs, bouncing it off a couple people, seeing what their opinions were. Because obviously once you put it out there, like I said, it's out there. You can always change and, update things as you move. But, you want to make sure you have the right product before you put it out. So I'm happy as hell, man. I can't complain. Like I said, you guys definitely got to get that. Just go to my website, www.mikecannz.com, and you'll find it. We have sweater. I got a girl shirt. I got a guy shirt. I got a Karma mask, which was another song that came out prior. I got a 10X phone case, and I got a long sleeve. I definitely plan to still bring a lot more different things to the table. I want to get a mask with an X on it. I'm always going to keep creating and offer different colors. But man, I'm so happy, honestly. The thing is so comfortable.
It looks sharp. Oh yeah, exactly.
So I can't complain, man. Now it is very fresh now because it's brand new. But yeah, man, I'm really excited for it, and I just want to kind of have it there. So as people start coming in and seeing the brand, seeing the page, they see that the merch is there, and if it's something they want to get, it's all done online now. You just go online to the website, make your purchase, get shipped right to your house.
Oh yeah, by all means.
That's awesome.
How have you used it to elevate you as an artist?
Well, first off, when I'm wearing this, I feel good, bro.
Oh yeah, exactly.
just wearing it, like, you feel good already when you wear it, because then you're like, oh, and then when you're out, man, people will be like, where is that from? Like, where do you get that, right? Like, It's not like it's something that's like in, Walmart or, Champs or something like that. So, but what it did for me as an artist, it just really showed that it's more than just the music. It's more than just the acting or whatever the case is. It shows that, you're a brand. You're a business, and I'm building everything around that, regardless if it's a merch line, regardless if it's me one day, helping artists in terms of helping their careers, regardless if, I want to put on my own movies. So it just shows it's a lot bigger than just the music and just the artist itself. You're a brand, you're a business, you're an entrepreneur, and I'm going to attach my name onto so many different things. And this just kind of separates you a little bit more, because you're actually putting effort into more. Because when people see you put money, time, and energy into things you actually invest, it makes you look more credible, makes you look more serious, that you take your craft. So I believe that's what it brought to my career. It just shows that I'm taking my things seriously and I'm standing out over the rest.
Oh yeah, that's solid. Well, please tell everyone where to find you, and we truly look forward to what's to come.
Perfect, man. Again, thank you guys. I really do appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity. And for anybody that's out there interested to check out the Samurai music video or any of my other tracks that I have out, or just check out the brand, go on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, search up the name Mike Cannz, MikeCannz. You'll find me on any platform. And all I can say is share it, check it out. Make sure you tell a friend, and let's keep spreading the movement, man.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it a lot.
No, guys, I appreciate you guys a lot as well, man.
Yes, thank you truly.